to where 30 minutes into the movie, you're like, okay, dude. I think it was
Yeah.
when they got to the, and my apologies for not remembering her name, the Miramax head, the big lady.
Yeah.
And I think it was at that time when it's like, and then like spreading the rumor, that he was upset with Miramax. He's like, why are you trying to leverage something that you don't even have right now? It's like, you can hear the fear in his publicist's voice, like, hey,
Yes.
dude, calm down. Like, this is not set in stone yet. Like, we do not have a check yet. We do not have anything right now.
As you watch the documentary, you do sort of discover that the people who are making the documentary get their ass handed to them verbally by Troy Duffy, and they continue to make it. So, is this probably a one-sided documentary? Absolutely. Are there things that even if you put them in context, I'm still going to think Troy Duffy is an asshole? Yes. Especially when they're recording at the barn, and he's like, I hope my friends realize that I'm the reason all this shit's happening. No one's thanked me. He's smoking, no one's fucking thanked me. I put their asses. Would they have done it? No, they're not the type. It takes a special kind. I'm just like, oh gosh, dude. That's right around the time he says that the record company's trying to Jew him. He becomes Harvey Weinstein's boy. I had read one article that talked about Hollywood was in love with the story. Now that might be what everyone was like. Okay, once we own it, we can maybe get him to make some changes that'll do this. But the story, I could see people loving that story. Two badass brothers going through Boston. Oh yeah, I'll take it.
And I think at that time too, like that vengeance whole thing with Falling Down and other movies that had taken, like that was a very fun attention getter, a crowd pleaser too. People want to see that. People want to see like, here's the kind of things that I think about, and here's like two blue-collar Boston guys going at it and just taking down bad guys, and they just wanted to retain the rights and then, or own that, so then they could get him to make those changes to whatever they need, and the story was clear. But like you said, like the screenplay is just shoot shoot flashback shoot, and I mean it's
cool Latin phrase.
Yeah.
He had said once in one of these articles I had read, he had said that the straw that broke the camel's back was Jean-Claude Van Damme's sudden death. He says, all I could think was, I can do better than that. And that's what one of the things, he had been contemplating writing a screenplay and then saw the death where this woman had been dead for 3 days and none of her heroin people noticed that she had died. So I think yes, he did better than Sudden Death.
Me seeing the movie now, I like Sudden Death better than I like Boondock Saints. It's the same, like when he was sitting on the couch and overnight too, and they're watching. He's like, "Fucking Con Air, who the fucking Jerry Bruckheimer? Who the hell is this guy?" Kind of thing. Well,
I just don't get the attitude of like,
why are you dicking the two biggest names? I mean, I don't want to hold Harvey Weinstein on any pedestal, but let's face it, he was the biggest name in Hollywood. Right. Everything went through him. And, I mean, why are you just fucking around with the two biggest names and, like, action-wise and getting it done-wise in Hollywood when you haven't gotten anything done?
There's a difference, I feel like, there's a difference between, like, you know what, man? I'm not going to let anything change me. And every meeting you have, you defend that.
Right.
You defend it. He seems to go into every meeting like, I'm going to... You know those guys who were like...
Oh, yeah, easily.
They're having a beer with their buddy and they're like, I'm going to beat somebody's ass tonight.
Yeah.
Like, that was his whole approach on every single situation, it seemed like. And, I mean, watch the documentary. It's on Rotten Tomatoes. It's better than the movie. Like I said, I think everyone on set liked Troy Duffy. I just think, like, I don't know, man. I think there's a balance of I will allow some bullshit, but at some point the bullshit stops when I say it stops. So, like, yeah, you don't kiss ass, but maybe you like, I'll go have this meeting even though I don't really need to. I'm not going to say fuck you to my publicist.
Right.
You're sitting at a meeting with, like, some of the hottest actors in Hollywood. And you're meeting with these incredible actors. Every single actor that he shit on, it came close to an Oscar nomination or has been part of a billion-dollar franchise.
Yeah.
Or has an Oscar nomination or has a fucking Oscar.
Right.
Anyway, it's a wonderful documentary. I highly recommend it, but this is not what we're here to talk about because we're going to talk about the movie. And the movie was released twice. It was released in theaters for about 5 days. and made around $35,000.
Yeah, domestically around 35,000, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to go over a quick timeline of this movie. And because I was like curious as to when these things happened, because this movie, I will say, I watched it and I think, oh, this movie should have been bought by someone.
Sure, yeah.
Is what I think. And I mean that because this screen sort of first pops on people's radar early 97. The bidding war that everyone talks about reached, I've read somewhere up to $500,000 just for the script itself. He gets dropped by Miramax in 98, which the documentary chronicles him getting dropped by Miramax. Then it is extremely important. From 98 to 99, he is trying to get this movie made. He's going to all these different places. Columbine happens April 20th, 1999. The movie is made before that. So, this movie, it's two people in black coats going around shooting people, asking them if they believe in God, which is a very famous story from Columbine.
Right.
Which I don't think the students reference. I mean, I don't know how they would have seen this movie. I think this movie just existed by itself, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Because one of the gunmen in Columbine, apparently, as the legend goes, asks this girl if she believes in God,
right.
Shoots her. Columbine happens April 20th, 1999. Cannes Film Festival, which is documented, the one they go to is May 12th through May 23rd of 99.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way any studio is buying this movie.
Oh, no. I mean, yeah, at that time, it's just like, before everybody got on a plane to Cannes, everybody who's everybody, they pretty much went to those people, the heads of those studios, and said, do not do anything with fucking guns right now, probably,
no.
And it was just like,
especially
lock it down.
Two guys in black coats.
Right, yeah.
In ski masks, just walking into public areas, executing people. They go on this thing where it's like, Harvey Weinstein's blacklisted. It's like, I don't think so. I think your movie would have been bought at Cannes any other year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it would have reached the heights you're hoping for, but geez, man, you're screening this less than a month after like a really game-changing tragedy.
Yeah.
That is mapped onto your film. Two people with black trench coats walk into a fucking school and shoot people.
Duffel bags full of guns.
Oh,
and just,
my gosh.
Yeah.
It's insane. So in 99, they did get a release in Denmark. I don't know if it was just like a one-off screening or what. January 21st, 2000. That's when it hits the States in 5 screens for a week. And gets in, I read $35,000 to $50,000. Who knows what's right.
Yeah.
And then, May 21st, 2002, that's it, man. That's the home video release. That's the DVD release. And some VHS release. And old, brilliant fucking Blockbuster gets the rights, the exclusive rights to rent this movie for $100,000.
Do you even recall anything like first seeing it? Were you at a friend's house? Do you remember? Did you rent it yourself? Do you kind of remember the circumstances behind seeing it the first time or anything?
No, I don't. I wasn't renting from Blockbuster much anymore because I was working at Movie Gallery close to around this time. But I don't remember like the poster. And the box cover is really beautiful. The hands with the guns and the tattoos. Yeah. I think it's great box art. I feel like I would have remembered it, and I can't for the life of me think of why I don't. And this little gem of a movie that made $30,000 in theaters. And this is what, I mean, God bless Troy Duffy, man. He knew he had something, and he stuck to it. And this movie goes on to make how much in movie stores, Marcus? Blockbuster specifically?
$50 million plus.
Plus.
Huge.
Now that is
huge.
That's enormous. I mean, that's massive. That is, you think about how many people that is that have seen that movie. Video stores, Blockbusters all over the country must have been buying it up. That is worldwide. That does include 7 different incarnations of the release of the first one all over the world. But still, 50 mil, and Troy Duffy got none of it.
Zero. Got not one lick of it.
So Troy Duffy, you think a man like that wears glasses like that? Did you remember those band photos he was taking?
Dude, that was. I wanted to text you during that time, and with the dogs.
I wanted to text you too. It is the best series of them holding Rottweilers, staring at the camera, and the whole time he's talking about we're going to show the world shit they've never seen before.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're doing every album
you're doing
cover
everything
that I've ever seen. Man, it's a really glorious 5 minutes of that film. So he ends up getting a big chunk of it. I mean, he's worth $22 million somehow right now.
Yeah, I mean, either he had a few Kobe Bryant Topps Chrome cards, or he got most of his payday from the settlement.
From the settlement,
yeah.
So he settles. You know, he makes his nut back on this movie, and he gets rights to it, and which is what allows him to do Boondock Saints 2, which I'm not afraid to say is a terrible movie.
Whew.
It was hard to get through, and it is. If there is dual gunplay, if there's Norman Reedus being a badass in a movie, and I can't get through it, I mean, that's a bad movie.
It was so just cliche, and the new FBI agent.
Yeah.
It's just like all the sexuality that they're trying to portray with her in this kind of like way, and it's just weird, man. It was just so awkward to watch, and it was
I watched this movie and I was like, this is Troy Duffy unhinged. This is
yeah.
No one looking
no
over
one had
him.
any reins on him or anything.
No, he's just, I'm gonna make this crazy movie, and it's like, it is. I guess it's crazy, but it's not good.
And I mean, you even have a huge, very underrated character actor in Clifton Collins Jr. Playing Romeo, and he, like, poor guy. I mean, I will say that Reedus Reedus, Flannery, and Collins and Connolly still try to do their best. And man, but like, I love Clifton Collins Jr. and he's just like a crazy guy, man. And he's
perfect for the role. The role's shit. The whole movie's shit.
Shit. Yeah, everything is just
Sorry,
shit.
Troy Duffy. Don't kick my ass. But I want to talk a little bit about Franchise Pictures, the studio that eventually picks up Boondock Saints. Their first movie that I can find is A Murder of Crows.
Okay.
You remember that movie?
Yeah.
Tom Berenger, Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Yeah.
So that's 1999. Cuba Gooding Jr. is coming off a fucking Oscar.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not coming off of it immediately, but Jerry Maguire was 96,
yeah,
I think?
96-ish, yeah.
But Cuba Gooding Jr. does this. It's a social commentary movie, so maybe he saw some joy in that, but not a very good movie. I bring this up because I wanted to go over some of their numbers and why they eventually, how they get to where they are, and their downfall. I think they made most of their money off of the Boondock Saints.
Right.
So Troy Duffy's film went from about $15 million in the original contract with Harvey Weinstein, and they ended up making it for about $5.5–6 million, depending on where you get your research at. $30,000 at the cinema, and then they make more than, I mean, they crush at the movie store, so they get some of that. I don't know how much of that they get after the settlement. They got some money. Their next big hit that they did, Marcus, The Whole 9 Yards. This movie was huge, and I had no idea. I love this movie. Mm-hmm. This movie was made for $41 million. It's a $100 million movie.
That's odd. Like, I didn't know it was made for 40. That doesn't seem like a $41 million movie, but
it doesn't.
Okay,
it's supposed to have been Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
And maybe Matthew Perry at the time. He was doing Friends. He's making a couple million a year. The Whole 9 Yards crushes. Mm-hmm. They get like a $66 million profit off this thing. They're riding high.
Right.
They produce this movie. They're the new players in town. So what do? They do a movie after that called The Big Kahuna, which I really enjoyed. Kevin Spacey, Danny DeVito. It's this. I think it's based off a play. It's really fun. It's not going to make a lot of money. Apparently, it cost $7 million to make. I don't know how. It was one fucking room, but it makes like $3 million. Then comes Battlefield Earth. I don't know where their heads were. Maybe
I've seen Battlefield Earth one time.
Scientology.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, it could have
Barry
been.
Pepper, baby.
Yeah. So you have John Travolta, you have Barry Pepper up and coming, like you said, you have Forrest Whitaker, and I've only seen this movie once, and I think like once you know that a movie is the worst of all time or one of